Our top story, it is the most watched election right now. Millions have voted in the crucial US midterm polls, which could define America's future. Early results have started coming in. The Democrats have shown surprising strength in these midterms, though it is unclear whether that will be enough for them to stop the Republicans in their attempt to wrest control of the House and the Senate. As of now, the Senate race hangs in the balance, with both the parties going neck and neck in a bid to gain control of the Senate, while in the House, trends show results in favor of the Republicans, as the Grand Old Party is in the lead to control the House of Representatives. There are some 20 House races that could determine control. Let's take a look at some of them. It is important to note that as of now, Republicans are leading in California, Illinois, Nebraska and Connecticut, while the Democrats are leading in Minnesota, New Mexico, Ohio and North Carolina. So getting a clear majority in either of these seats could help these parties gain control of the House. Now, let's look at the races which are in favor of the Democrats. Currently, they are leading House races in Alaska, Arizona, Illinois and Colorado. While for the Republicans, the races that are going in their favor at the moment are Florida, California, Iowa and Georgia. Now, in Georgia, incumbent Democratic Senator Raphael Warnock is facing Republican Herschel Walker in one of the most closely watched battles. Walker's campaign was rocked by allegations that he paid for at least one woman to have an abortion, and this could become a roadblock for him to win the seat. The results of these midterm elections will have an impact on the 2024 U.S. presidential elections that are expected to be a fight between the current U.S. President Joe Biden and the former President Donald Trump, who recently said he wanted to be back in the White House.
Well, thank you very much, everybody. This has been a very exciting night. We have some races that are hot and heavy, and we're all watching them here.
However, there could be some legal hurdles for the former president, as Trump is facing a flurry of court cases. He's facing a probe for election subversion, his retention of White House records, and his business affairs are under scrutiny. As the U.S. midterm contest is headed for a cliffhanger finish, the Republican hopes of a stinging blow to President Joe Biden in the congressional elections seems to be receding. In many American states, the midterms will have a direct impact on the 2024 presidential elections, and the results will also have global repercussions. While both parties have common grounds on most areas of key foreign policy issues, one of the reasons why the U.S. midterms are watched closely is that a shift in the power equations could lead to a change in the policy towards Ukraine. However, Washington maintains that there is bipartisan consensus on support to Kiev.
Here, we've seen bipartisan support from Ukraine. The president is committed to continuing to work with the Congress to ensure that that support continues.
Since Biden entered the Oval Office, the U.S. policy towards Russia has been tougher. Washington and Moscow have locked horns over multiple issues, the main issue being unwavering support to Zelensky's effort to defend Ukraine against Russian forces. During the term of Donald Trump, Washington was seen to be adopting a somewhat softer approach towards Russia, but all that clearly changed once Russia launched its so-called special military operation in Ukraine. While the final results of the midterms are still awaited, the Kremlin, in an official statement, has said Moscow's ties with Washington are likely to remain at rock bottom regardless of the results of the midterm elections. Another power the U.S. has to reckon with is China, the world's second largest economy. Relations between Washington and Beijing have been frosty, and they nosedived following a visit in August by U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi to Taiwan, which China views as its own territory. But Beijing refused to comment on the U.S. polls, calling it America's internal affairs.
中期选举是美国的内政，选举结果由美国选民投票决定。中方不做评论。
A change in the power equilibrium in Washington could also impact economic policies, with echoes of a slowdown resonating. Any tinkering of the fiscal policy will have its effect around the world, and a slowing economy has been one of the biggest issues in these polls. And last but not the least, President Biden would be headed to Egypt, where world leaders have gathered to find a way to avoid a climate catastrophe. A Republican control over the House or the Senate could make it difficult for Biden to muster support for his climate agenda. The Republicans under former President Donald Trump have been known to embrace climate deniers. So, from the climate front to issues like Iran, from countering China to taking on Russia, all would depend on how the Americans have voted in the midterms. And that is why you are watching us as you follow these elections very, very closely.